Finland was officially stripped of her crown after this photo of her was uploaded to the internet. The caption roughly translates to eating with a Chinese person.
Finnish politicians from the Perussuomalaiset party are pulling their eyes back in a racist gesture towards Asian people in support of the now former Miss Finland 2025.
For the people saying that racism against Asians doesn't exist, this is crazy.
So you think racism is a thing of the past? That we live in a post-racial utopia where everyone is judged by the content of their character? Well, check this out. Because Finland, the happiest country in the world, is here to serve us a steaming plate of reality with a side of casual racism and a whole lot of denial. Today we're diving into the mess that is the Miss Finland 2025 scandal and how it exposed a much uglier truth about how the West sees Asians. Let's get into it.
Finland was officially stripped of her crown after this photo of her was uploaded to the internet. The caption roughly translates to eating with a Chinese person. And she uploaded this photo on social media of her in a plane with the caption, "People are hating, meanwhile this is me in Finnair business on the way to Dubai." So it seemed like she just did not care. Sarah then claimed that the photo was taken out of context. How is it out of context? Apparently she was eating at a restaurant with a friend and she had a severe headache and pain in her eyes, so she leaned against the table, rubbed her temples, and stretched her eyes because it relieved the pressure. And then her friend thought it was funny, so her friend took the picture. Her friend was also the one who wrote the caption, and she also emphasized that she does not accept racism. As a Kosovar herself, she has experienced a lot of discrimination. It's a little too late because the Miss Finland organization has released an official statement. They said that the content that was uploaded about Miss Finland has been offensive, harmful, and completely against the values of Miss Finland competition. They're also sorry for the harm that it has caused, especially to the Asian community and to everyone that has been affected. And after thorough consideration, they have revoked the title of Miss Finland held by Sarah Zavse. They said that this decision is not about a person's human worth, but about responsibility. When an individual carries a national and international representative role, actions and responsibility are inseparable. Miss Finland holds a position of role model status, which requires respecting all people regardless of their origin, background, or appearance. They also wish Sarah for the best in her future, despite revoking her title and stripping her of her crown. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this, because the pageant has been such a hot mess this year. I mean, it's a hot mess every year, but I feel like this year was just so particularly crazy.
Let me get this straight. A beauty queen gets her crown snatched for being racist, and in response, a group of elected officials, politicians, decide the best course of action is to do the exact same racist gesture in solidarity? You couldn't write a better parody if you tried. This isn't just a few bad apples. This is the whole orchard showing its rotten roots. They're so desperate to own the woke mob that they'll gladly debase themselves and their offices, all while their country faces actual problems. It's a masterclass in political distraction.
Finnish politicians from the Perussuomalaiset party are pulling their eyes back in a racist gesture towards Asian people in support of the now former Miss Finland 2025, who just had her title revoked for a scandal involving racism towards Asian people. A lot of the politicians' statements defending the now ex-Miss Finland focus on the photo of her where she's pulling her eyes back and her friend wrote under it, "eating with a Chinese person." That started the whole scandal. But the reason that people are upset with her is not only for the photo, but also for the lack of respect shown towards Asian people after it and the fact that it took over a week to get an apology. These photos just prove the lack of respect that Asian people have in society and how little people actually care about Asian people. Let me try to explain this as simply as possible. Imagine that somebody slaps you. That's insult number one. But then when you say, "Ow, that hurt, why'd you do that?" they proceed to say, "Oh, I didn't slap you," or "I didn't mean to slap you," or "my hand just fell on your face." That's insult number two. They don't even think you deserve the respect to acknowledge your feelings and apologize for their actions. That's our issue with this whole Miss Finland situation. The fact that people think we deserve to be insulted and we deserve to just take it and let it go is crazy. And it's why racism and discrimination against Asian people is so normal in society. I spoke up in the first place because I know how common racism towards Asian people is in our society, and I wanted to highlight that. And I hope that a discussion would make people realize that this is not normal and it's not okay. But seeing members of the Finnish parliament normalize racism towards Asian people breaks my heart, knowing that there are young kids of Asian background in Finland that will grow up in a country where it's okay to make fun of their features. It's sad that we have higher standards for a beauty pageant than our own government. And it's sad to me that members of the Finnish government are using racism towards Asian people as rage bait rather than actually focusing on problems that face Finnish people, like unemployment, the economy, and domestic violence. It's not surprising that the Perussuomalaiset party will involve themselves in any scandal to distract from the fact that their government is so ineffective and they're not doing anything to make Finnish people's lives better. Finnish people deserve better leadership, and you can demand this by going to vote.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. The classic, it's just a joke defense. The last refuge of someone who's been caught red-handed. Here's a pro tip. If your joke has been used for centuries to dehumanize and mock an entire continent of people, it's not a joke. It's hate speech appetizer. And no, you don't get to decide what's racist when you're not the one on the receiving end. That's like a burglar telling you they weren't really stealing, just borrowing indefinitely. It's gaslighting, plain and simple, and we're not buying it.
Sorry, but you cannot be the judge of what is or what is not racist when you're not the one being mocked. Hi, I'm Sophie and I talk anti-racism. You've probably seen the recent Miss Finland photo where she pulled her eyes back. Her friend captured it eating with a Chinese person and she lost her crown. She apologized, so I'm not focusing on her. What I do want to address is a comment a lot of people are making online. It's just a joke. It's not racist. So let's talk about why this slanted eye gesture can be seen as racist across East Asian communities and probably other communities. First, it targets a physical feature that has been used to stereotype and mock East Asians for centuries. The slanted eye image was a core part of Western racist portrayals of Asians, from yellow peril propaganda to cartoons that painted Asians as strange, foreign, or less human. When you repeat this gesture, you're repeating this history, whether you mean to or not.
A severe headache, that's her fucking excuse. A severe headache that just so happened to make her pull her eyes back in the most stereotypical racist way possible, while someone conveniently captioned it, eaten with a Chinese person. And then, the cherry on top, bragging about flying business class while people are hating. It's a textbook case of non-apology and a stunning lack of self-awareness. At least the Miss Finland organization had the decency to do the right thing. It's a low bar, but in this circus, we'll take what we can get.
For the people saying that racism against Asians doesn't exist, this is crazy. So Miss Finland lost her title because she did this photo with the caption that basically meant eating with a Chinese person like... And in response to her having her title removed, the right-wing party of Finland decided to do this in solidarity. Solidarity. Guys, this is their solidarity. And what I think is crazy is that this is Finland, like supposed to be like the happiest place in the world, right? But we're not talking about the racism. I'm just trying to figure out what was going through these lawmakers' minds being like, this is super messed up. This is so woke. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to pull back our eyes in solidarity. Y'all, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad up in here.
For anyone out there who still claims that racism against Asians isn't a real pervasive issue, I present to you Exhibit A. This isn't some fringe group of extremists. These are lawmakers in what's supposedly the happiest place on earth. If this is what happiness looks like, I think I'll pass. The fact that they thought this was a good idea, that they filmed it, and that they put it out there for the world to see shows just how normalized and accepted this kind of bigotry is. So, what have we learned today? That racism against Asians is alive and well. It's even getting a stamp of approval from the government. The Miss Finland scandal was just the tip of the iceberg. The real story is the casual, almost nonchalant way this racism is dismissed, defended, and even celebrated. It's a reminder that the fight against bigotry is far from over, and that we can't afford to be silent. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more content that calls out the nonsense, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.